The average American household throws away more than $1,500 every single year on groceries they never actually needed. Not because they're careless, not because they're irresponsible with money, but because every store, every shelf, every label, it's all been engineered to make that happen without you noticing. And with food prices up nearly 3% from last year, the system is more ruthless than ever. I'm going to walk you through 12 specific items that are pulling money straight out of your pocket with almost no resistance. Some of these carry markups so extreme, they'd make your head spin. We're talking 4,000% in one case. Not a typo. And by the time this video ends, you'll never walk through a grocery store the same way again. But here's the real question. Are you going to walk out of this video and change something? Or are you going to nod and forget it by morning? Let's find out.
Number 1. Pre-cut fruits and vegetables. Here's a scene that's going to feel painfully familiar. Small container of pre-cut watermelon, $6.99. Right next to it, a whole watermelon. Same size, same fruit, $3.99. Someone spent roughly 5 minutes with a knife and nearly doubled the price. That's not a coincidence, and it's not a one-off. Across every produce section in every major chain, pre-cut items carry an average markup of 40% compared to their whole counterparts, and stores justify it with words like labor and convenience. Let's be honest about what that labor actually is. About 30 cents of minimum wage knife work. The markup you're paying? $3 to $4 on top. Every time. But the price isn't even the worst part. The moment produce is cut, it starts degrading. Nutrients break down faster, moisture escapes, shelf life collapses. So you're paying more for food that's objectively worse. Here's the flip side of this that most people never discover. Frozen fruits and vegetables are harvested at peak ripeness and flash frozen to lock in nutrients. Already prepped, and they typically cost 60% less than fresh pre-cuts. Grocery chains hate that you know this, because frozen produce completely destroys the margin on one of their most reliable cash generators. Set aside 20 minutes on Sunday. Prep everything. Put on a show you like. It doesn't have to be a chore. And over 12 months, that habit could put hundreds of dollars back in your pocket. Number 2. Bottled water.
This one crosses from overpriced into genuinely alarming. Researchers from Columbia University and Rutgers University published findings that shook the industry. The average liter of bottled water contains roughly 240,000 microscopic plastic particles. That figure is 10 to 100 times higher than earlier estimates, simply because scientists can now detect fragments small enough to pass through cell walls. These nanoplastics are now being found inside human lungs, breast milk, and placental tissue. We are quite literally delivering plastic into unborn children before they take their first breath. And here's the part that makes it completely indefensible. Newer research shows bottled water often contains more microplastics than regular tap water. You are paying more to consume something dirtier than what flows from your faucet for nearly free. The financial side is just as ugly. That $2 bottle of water cost the company roughly 5 cents to produce. That's a markup of approximately 4,000%. Not hundreds of percent. 4,000. The fix takes one afternoon and costs about $30. Get a solid water filter, grab a stainless steel bottle, and stop funding an industry that's selling you contaminated water at a luxury premium. Your body and your bank account both deserve better than that deal.
Number 3. Fresh bakery items. Here's something that should genuinely unsettle you. That warm, irresistible bread smell that hits you the moment you walk through certain grocery stores, it's not always coming from actual baking. Many major chains now deploy synthetic scent machines that release artificial bakery aromas throughout the building. According to data from the Scent Marketing Institute, when the scent of fresh bread was artificially circulated in a store, bakery sales tripled. Tripled. This isn't customer service, it's neurological manipulation. Your brain is being chemically nudged into spending money you didn't plan to spend. And once you're hooked, you're looking at profit margins approaching 60% on those muffins and pastries.
hand over $4, and roughly $2.40 stays with the store. Studies confirm that scent causes shoppers to linger longer and make more unplanned purchases, and grocery executives know this better than anyone. Some brands have even partnered with chains to pump dessert scents like cheesecake into the air to trigger impulse buys. This is psychological warfare dressed up in flour and sugar. The countermove is simple. Check the day-old bakery section. Same items, 50% off and still perfectly good. Or grab a $2 baking mix and make 4 times the product for a fraction of the price. Once you understand the trick, it stops working.
Number 4. Name brand spices. A small bottle of McCormick oregano at a standard grocery store, $3.49. The same quantity at a nearby Indian grocery store, 37 cents. That's not a sale. That's not an accident. That's close to a 1,000% price gap for the same spice. And the story gets worse. Those neat little jars on grocery store shelves, many of them have been sitting there for months, sometimes over a year. By the time you buy them, the volatile oils that give spices their actual flavor have largely evaporated. You're paying nearly $4 for something with the potency of colored dust. Meanwhile, the global spice market has grown into a $28.84 billion industry, projected to nearly double by 2032. That growth isn't coming from grocery store spice aisles. It's driven by ethnic markets and bulk suppliers, where inventory moves fast, spices arrive fresh, and prices stay low. Indian, Middle Eastern, and Asian grocery stores operate on high turnover, which means their product is dramatically more potent and flavorful. Buy whole spices whenever possible. They last longer and deliver better results. Store them in airtight containers. Skip the branded jars entirely. The oregano that costs $3.49 at your regular store, at the right market, that same money buys enough to last you a full year. Number 5. Organic everything. The organic food industry has grown past $52 billion. On average, that green label costs you about 20% more per product. The problem isn't organic food. It's that most people buying organic have no idea when it actually matters. The Environmental Working Group's Dirty Dozen list found that roughly 95% of tested products were coated in pesticides, with more than 50 different chemicals detected on individual items. Strawberries, for example, have tested positive for up to 23 separate chemical residues even after washing. That's real, and that's a genuinely good reason to go organic on those items. But the same report found that nearly 65% of the Clean 15, fruits and vegetables like avocados, sweet corn, and pineapples, showed no detectable pesticide residue at all. Buying organic versions of those items gives you nothing but a higher receipt. 4 of the 5 most commonly detected chemicals are fungicides known to disrupt human hormone systems, and they're applied after harvest for cosmetic purposes, not agricultural ones. The smart approach? Buy organic only for Dirty Dozen items. Buy conventional for Clean 15 items. That single habit can cut your organic grocery bill in half while still protecting your family from the exposures that actually matter.
Number 6. Single-serve snack packs. Picture a cart loaded with individual snack packs. Tiny goldfish bags, single-sleeve Oreos, mini chip portions. The snack subtotal comes in around $47. The exact same snacks in bulk sizes? About $18. That's a 161% markup. Not for better food, not for better ingredients, but simply because someone else divided it up into smaller bags. A box of individual goldfish crackers runs about $8.99 for 10 ounces. A family-size bag of the same product costs $4.49 for 30 ounces. Run the math. You're paying nearly 600% more per ounce for the convenience of smaller packaging. Those individual pretzel packs in lunchboxes cost around $1.25 each, versus roughly 15 cents when bought from a bulk container. The global snack industry is worth approximately $692 billion and growing at over 4% annually. The growth engine is convenience dependency. Companies are betting you won't take 2 minutes to portion snacks yourself. They're also betting you'll call it portion control and feel good about it. Here's the reality. A $5 set of reusable containers does everything a $9 pack of mini goldfish bags does at a fraction of the cost. families relying on single-serve snacks are burning through an estimated $800 more per year than those who buy in bulk. That's not pocket change. That's a loan payment, a weekend trip, or 4 months of a streaming subscription.
Number 7. Pre-marinated meat. Those glossy trays of teriyaki chicken thighs look polished and effortless, and that's entirely the point. Pre-marinated meats carry markups of up to 60% compared to plain cuts. A pound of regular chicken breast at $4.99 becomes $7.99 once it's been soaked in a marinade that costs the store maybe 30 to 50 cents to make. You're paying an extra $3 for less than a minute of someone else's effort. But the price isn't the worst part. Many pre-marinated products contain over 800 milligrams of sodium per serving, more than a third of your entire recommended daily intake from a single piece of meat. Sodium is cheap, it extends shelf life, and it drives cravings. From a profit standpoint, it's the ideal ingredient. Here's the detail the industry definitely doesn't advertise. A former grocery store meat manager confirmed that pre-marinated products are frequently used to move cuts approaching their sell-by date. Heavy seasoning, bold colors, and intense flavors mask subtle changes in smell and texture. Meanwhile, the North American processed meat market is projected to grow from $14 billion in 2023 to $145 billion by 2032. They're building a future on your willingness to pay 60% extra for a 3-minute task. Making your own marinade, olive oil, garlic, soy sauce, a touch of honey, takes under 5 minutes and gives you complete control over sodium, ingredients, and flavor. One person who made this switch reported cutting their grocery bill by roughly $40 a month. That's $480 a year saved by mixing a bowl of sauce.
Number 8. Superfoods in tiny packages. Walk down the health food aisle and you'll see miniature bags plastered with phrases like ancient wisdom, time-tested nutrition, and superfood. A small pouch of goji berries for $12.95. Maca powder for $18. The packaging screams premium. Here's what it isn't saying. The FDA has never recognized or approved the term superfood. It is not a scientific category. It's not regulated in any meaningful way. It's a marketing invention, and it works with remarkable efficiency. Over the past 4 years, usage of the word superfood in product marketing has increased by more than 300%. Not because these foods became healthier, because marketing budgets got bigger. Goji berries are a perfect example. In China, where they originate, they're just berries, sold cheaply at local markets with no ceremony attached. Cross the Pacific, repackage them with an ancient wisdom label, and they become $25 per pound luxury health food. Meanwhile, blueberries, loaded with the same antioxidants, backed by decades of peer-reviewed research, run about $4 per pound. Some early lab studies suggest goji berries may show certain beneficial effects on cancer cells. But so do regular berries, leafy greens, and dozens of common, affordable foods. The real nutritional powerhouses are the ones without the flashy labels. Spinach, sweet potatoes, nuts, legumes, whole grains. They've been nourishing people for generations without needing a lifestyle brand to justify their price. Number 9. Energy drinks and fancy coffee. One energy drink at $3.50 before work. One specialty cold brew at $5 on the way in. That's $8.50 before 9 a.m. 3 times a week, every week for a year. $1,326 gone. And you haven't even looked at what's inside those cans. A single energy drink can contain up to 78 grams of sugar, more than triple the recommended daily limit for women, and more than double for men. The $22 billion energy drink industry has rebranded itself as a wellness category, slapping phrases like natural caffeine and added vitamins on products that deliver more sugar than a candy bar. The wellness language is exceptionally effective at disconnecting you from what's actually happening. The coffee side isn't gentler. A basic Starbucks cold brew starts at $4, with premium versions hitting $5 or more. A 40-ounce container of ground coffee at home makes roughly 100 cups for about $100. That's 10 cents per cup at home versus $5 at the counter, a markup of nearly 5,000%. Research consistently links high sugar beverages to weight gain, type 2 diabetes risk, heart disease, and metabolic dysfunction.
You're not just overpaying, you're paying a premium to cause harm over time. Cold brew at home takes 5 minutes and overnight patience, and produces a week's worth of concentrate for under $2. Need energy without the crash? Fix your sleep, eat real food, drink water. These aren't revolutionary ideas. They're just cheaper and more effective than anything in a can.
Number 10. Individual yogurt cups. A 6-pack of individual Greek yogurt cups for $8.99 feels perfectly reasonable until you do the math. That works out to nearly $15 per pound of yogurt. The same brand, same product in a large tub, around $4.50 per pound. Individual cups routinely cost 2 to 5 times more per unit than their bulk counterparts, not because the yogurt is different, but because it's been divided and packaged for you. If you eat 1 cup per day, that convenience premium costs you roughly $300 more per year compared to buying large tubs. $300 is a weekend trip. It's several months of a subscription. It's money that left your account in tiny, invisible increments that never individually felt significant. There's also an environmental dimension worth knowing. A single-serve cup generates about 6 times more packaging waste than scooping from a large container. The portion control argument sounds reasonable until you realize a $2 set of reusable containers solves that entirely. Buy the big tub, portion it when you get home. The process takes 3 minutes. Large containers also tend to be fresher. They move off shelves faster than individual cups do. This is one of those changes where you pay less, waste less, and actually get better food. Everything points in the same direction, and the only thing standing in the way is habit.
Number 11. Specialty diet food section. Welcome to the final boss of grocery store pricing manipulation, the trendy diet products section. Keto-friendly granola bars for $12, paleo-approved crackers for $9.99, Whole30 compliant marinara for $7. Everything looks polished, premium, and purpose-built for health-conscious consumers. Here's what's actually happening. Companies are taking ordinary food, attaching trendy diet buzzwords to the packaging, and tripling the price. The specialty diet food market has grown over 40% in just the last 2 years. The labels are doing all the heavy lifting. Here's the one that says it all. A jar of keto-friendly peanut butter, priced at $11. Ingredients listed? Peanuts, salt. Regular peanut butter? Same 2 ingredients? Runs about $3.50. The paleo-approved crackers? Almond flour and sea salt? Items you can combine at home for a quarter of the retail cost, become premium once you put a caveman on the box. The truth the diet food industry doesn't want widely understood is this. Diets like keto and paleo are frameworks for excluding certain foods. They don't require specialty products. They require real whole foods that have always existed. Eggs, vegetables, plain meat, nuts, fruit. One person who switched from specialty Whole30 products to regular whole foods during their second round dropped their monthly food spend from over $200 to $75. That's $1,500 saved in a single year, purely by ignoring labels and reading ingredients instead. Before you buy anything with a diet buzzword on it, ask one question. Could I make this with regular ingredients? The answer is almost always yes.
Now, the conclusion. None of this happened by accident. Pre-cut fruit, synthetic bread smells, fake superfood labels, 4,000% water markups. Every one of these is a deliberate system built by people who study consumer psychology for a living. They know you're tired. They know you're busy. They know that $3 feels small until it's $1,500 a year. And the uncomfortable reality is that most people will watch this, feel briefly irritated, and change nothing. Not because they don't care, but because awareness without action is just expensive entertainment. The good news is that none of the counter moves here are hard. They're just unfamiliar. Shop the perimeter of the store. Buy whole, freeze, prep. Read ingredient lists. Hit the ethnic market for spices. Make your own marinade. Filter your water. These aren't lifestyle overhauls. They're small decisions that compound into real money over time. The system is designed to be invisible. Now you can see it.
What you do with that is entirely up to you.